Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. It happened again, this time in the UK. So, a police officer who, unalive, Chris Kaba, basically has been found not guilty in a London court. Now, this article comes from Al Jazeera. It says, London police officer who fatally unalive Chris Kaba acquitted of murder. Officer found not guilty in the unalivement of Chris Kaba, who was unarmed when he was shot in September of 2022. Now, this is a big case in London, in the UK. And I know here in America, we don't follow news in London like they do with us over here. But it shows you that even in London, that the criminal justice system is still in the hands of the government, of the police, and just like here in America, they will acquit a police officer, which believe me that they felt like, I had no choice, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that he, along with Chris Carver's family, didn't deserve what happened. And I'm going to read this article in a second, but so according to multiple sources, that Chris Kaba was shot in the back of the window. So it continue to say is a London police officer who fatally shot a black man 2 years ago has been found acquitted of murder. Martin Blake, a 40-year-old marksman with the Metropolitan Police, was cleared by a London jury on Monday in the death of Chris Kaba. Blake shot Kaba, 24, on September 5th, 2022, on a narrow residential street in the Stream Hill neighborhood in South London. So you see again that, and I'm going to go ahead and read to you in a second, but Kaba, who was 24 at the time, was unarmed, and a lot of people were like, well, if he was innocent, as they said he was innocent, why he ran for police? Well, maybe he was scared, because black people, like here in America, when we're scared that we be stopped by police, you don't know what the officer's going to do to us, and stuff like that. So this is not a surprise here, and I'm surprised that black YouTubers or people here in America ain't talk about this case in London. Even though this is happening in London and in the UK and in a different country, this is also a big story. This is sort of like a stories like you talk about Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and of course, and George Floyd. But this to me is the biggest story, biggest case in London, in the UK. So I'm going to read this article in a second, but this is much more bigger than you think it is. And when a lot of people talk about, well, that he's a black man, he's a threat, blah, blah, blah. So continue to say, as Kaba was unarmed and driving an Audi that police believe was linked to a shooting the previous day, which they forced to stop. He had tried to drive away while boxed in by police vehicles when Blake fired a single round through the Audi's windshield after Kaba began ramming the police cars in an attempt to escape. Prosecutor Tom Little told jurors at the start of the trial this month that Blake's decision to shoot Kaba was not reasonably justified or justifiable. So, in other words, Kaba wasn't even a threat. And obviously, this officer was, in my opinion, trigger happy and shot through the windshield of Kaba's car. And so you see, again, it shows you that this is the same old thing. And it continues to say is Blake said he had thought there was an intimate threat to his colleagues if he had not shot Kaba. He gave evidence that he intended to incapacitate Kaba, but not kill, not unalive him. Yeah, right. My whole intention was to stop that vehicle, which I thought was about to run my colleagues over, Blake said. Now, you mean to tell me, And this isn't happening here in America as well. So you mean to tell me that you will fear, just sort of like a fear for my life tactic, right? I fear for my colleague's life. I don't know if Kaba want to run one of them over, so I had to shoot. So you telling me that you shot the brother and he's trying to run away, try to escape y'all. But it's sad. It says Blake was suspended from duty following anger from the black communities. Jurors in London Central Criminal Court deliberated for about 3 hours, finding Blake not guilty. Blake let out a sigh of relief as the verdict was read. Kaba's family seated in the courtroom showed no visible reaction. I wonder why. Maybe because they're not surprised at the verdict? Prosecutor says their thoughts were with the Kaba family, but they respected the jury's decision. See, this shows you that just like here in America, the criminal justice system in the UK don't care about black people over there either. Because again, they should have qualified immunity with that cop in the UK. And it's sad that we are living what's going on in other countries like London, Paris, and incidents continue to happen when it comes to black people in their communities, right? So this is a same old thing that's going on, but it's going on in a different country. But yet they talk about, well, there's no visible reaction when it comes to the Kaba's family. What do you expect? What do you expect happen? What do you expect the decision going to be? They already know what the decision going to be before they even read the verdict. They knew this is not a surprise because they know that cops going to get away with it. Oh, a black man is a threat, so we have to. They're in fear for our life, so we got to get out of here. Basically we have to shoot them. I fear for my life. Ain't that the same tactic they say here in America, in the U.S.? What are our police officers here? Oh, I fear for my life. What? And this guy shot the guy miles away from the incident. So they continue to say that we recognize the firearm officers operate under enormous pressure, but it's our responsibility to put cases before a jury that meet our tests for prosecution, and we're satisfied that the tests were met in this case, Frank Ferguson, head of Crown Prosecution Special Crime and Counterterrorism Division, said. Following Kaba's killing in September 2022, anti-racism protesters took to the streets of London demanding justice. Kaba's family called for accountability in a statement saying, "We are worried that if Chris had not been black, he would have been arrested on Monday evening and not have his life cut short." According to officials' figures, black people are far more likely to be stopped and searched by police. I think I'm going to wait for more to finish. But hey. But see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem. Like here in America, the situation happens worldwide. Racism and anti-racism happens worldwide. So to continue with this article, it says Akaba's family called for accountability in a statement saying we are worried that if Chris had not been black, he would have been arrested on Monday evening and not had his life cut short. According to official figures, black people are far more likely to be stopped and searched by the police than any other ethnic group. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the Al Jazeera article. Just like here in the United States, people in Great Britain is suffering the same situation that they do here. How police officers can stop a black man most of the time for no apparent reason. The man was unarmed, and the officer used "I fear for my life" tactic that cost, Chris Kaba his life. To me, it's another cycle. And of course, just like here in America, in the UK, police will not be held accountable for their actions. Now, Chris Kaba was only 24 years old that when he was unalive by London police. Only 24. Martine Blake, who the officer that took Chris Kaba out, he is going to live his life with his family, enjoy his life, travel, do whatever, have fun, go home, eat dinner with his family like nothing happened, while Chris Kaba is in a casket. The family of Chris Kaba will never see him again. And just like stories here in America, when you think about Trayvon Martin, when you think about Mike Brown, when you think about Laquan McDonald, when you're thinking about Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, you think about all these cases, and these cases, most of these cases, these officers either acquitted or won't be indicted or getting lesser sentences for what they did. In this case, same old, same old. Like they do here in the United States, the London police officer walked free, killing an unarmed black man. And it said it was a threat. And they say that I fear for my life, like they always do here, like police officers do. I fear for my life here in America. And yet, the 24-year-old was not here to defend himself. And now he lost his life over a threat, alleged threat, to what police said he tried to ram them over. This is crazy. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.